Good morning, class, and
Good
we
morning,
will,
ma'am.
good morning, everyone. We will begin the
Morning,
lesson
ma'am.
further. Now, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Last time when we met, I had sent you two videos giving the explanations, explanation 2 and explanation 3. Now, I hope that those explanations were gone through. I hope you understand what the organs of government are. The three organs of government are legislature, executive, and judiciary. And it works at the lawmaking, law implementing, and checking the work of the people. If it is wrong, it is punishable by the judiciary. Then they talked of the levels, where we talked of the various ways at which the government works. At the state level, at the center or the national level, it is the national level. Then in the state, it functions at the state level. Below it, the district level or the block level. Later on, below it, the panchayats and the municipal level. Then we have, please switch off your mic. Then we talked of the three lists, where the lists are made of the functions taken up. Now, the national government works on the national issues, and that those issues come under the national list. Then the states, various states of India, they work under the list and programs which are under the state list. Then the third is the concurrent list, where both national and the state can demarcate their functions and work in coordination. So we talked of the three levels. Then we talked of the types of government in explanation 2. Sorry, in explanation 3, we talked of the types of governments, where we came to know about the quote of Abraham Lincoln. He was the president of America. The year is also given to you, 1861 to 65, and where we talk of the term called democracy. Now, he said democracy means any government which is running for the people, by the people, of the people. So that means a government which is made for the people, for the benefit of the people. It is elected by the people. It is the people who go and elect and give their vote, and it works in coordination, bringing the welfare, keeping the welfare of the people in mind. So this means democracy, and this was coined by Abraham Lincoln. Then we talked of the next term called monarchy. Now, monarchy means that form of government. In certain countries, those kind of government is followed where king or queen is given the power. They are there to rule. And under that also, we came across various examples of the countries where the monarchy system of government is followed. That means still there are kings and queens ruling those areas. So earlier, if you remember, India was also following monarchy system. And can you see the photograph? Bahadur Shah Zafar. He was the last emperor of India, after which the British rule is started. So we talked of the monarchy system, where we also talked of United Arab Emirates. We talked of, please switch off your mics. We talked of Arabia. We talked of Bhutan, who followed the monarchy system. And we even talked of Nepal, which was following the monarchy system and has very recently switched over to democracy. Then, in the next paragraph, we talked of the another form of government, which is known as authoritarian, or the other name is dictatorship. Now, dictatorship or authoritarian means all the authority is in hands of one person. He's the dictator. He's the mastermind. He doesn't need any council of ministers to work according. All the decisions are taken by the dictator, one person who has taken up, who has declared himself the king, all in all powerful. So during this connection, while we were doing dictators, we came across a number of dictators who ruled in various countries at various times, where we talked of Hitler, who was the dictator of Germany. We talked of Mussolini, who was the dictator of Italy. Then we talked of Muammar Gaddafi. He was the dictator of Libya. We talked of Hosni Mubarak. We talked of Saddam Hussein. So these were the few various dictators who were all in all powerful and who did not follow democracy. That means they did not follow the welfare of the people. They only followed their own selfish motives. And recently it was in news, the South Korean king, you remember, King John. So please see that you, and he recently died. So please get a few details about him also. He was also a dictator of South Korea. Now we come on to the next heading called democratic governments. That means those countries where democracy is followed, those countries where democracy is practiced, and they follow the setup called democratic government. So we have till now read the different types of governments. Different types of governments means the organization which is looking after the country could be either a democracy or it could be a monarchy where the king is ruling and powerful, or it could be authoritarian or dictatorship. That means one man ruling irrespective of the interest of the people in mind. That is called dictatorship. So we read about various forms, and now we come on to the one basic form, that is the democratic government. Now, this is your explanation for where I begin today with the democratic governments. Now, India is a great democracy. This was achieved after a long and painful struggle against the British. We won freedom from the British rule in August 1947. Please underline this. Indian Constitution came into effect on 26th January 1950. Please underline this. Now, there are two dates given. One is telling you when India got free. India got its freedom from the Britishers who were ruling us after Bahadur Shah Zafar. The Britishers took over. They became the ruling powers. So it was in August 1947 that India attained freedom. You remember 15th August is celebrated as Independence Day. So it was this time when India attained freedom. Then India's constitution. Now, in the last two explanations, I told you the meaning of constitution. Now, constitution, let me tell you again, is a set of laws which are written for the country, and people follow the rules and regulations laid down in the constitution. So, a proper handwritten constitution we have, and the constitution was written by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And this constitution was written on 26th January 1950. Please underline this date. People in other countries of Asia and Africa have also struggled to have democracies. Now, there are various countries who were in the clutches of British rule. Just as Britishers had made us the slaves, they had come to India as a trading company. They came to India, they first entered India not as rulers. They came to India as traders. They came to trade with us. हमसे सौदेबाजी करने आए थे. Whatever was good in their country, they came to sell here and to buy the precious things from here to sell in the British markets, England. Okay, so they came as trading units, and later on they settled here, empowered us, made us our slaves, their slaves, sorry. and occupied India. And in the same way, they did to various Asian and African countries who were also occupied by these British and were the colonies of British. Colonies means they were occupied, they were working under Asia and Africa. Certain countries were working under British rule. So they were also striving for democracy. They also, these countries in which were earlier occupied by British, also wanted to set themselves free, just like India, and they also wanted to follow democracy. So the main feature of a democracy, I hope you can see here, the main feature of democracy is that people elect their representatives for a fixed period. Now, please understand these points, they are very important. Now, the first important thing of democracy is that the people of that country, like we, the people of India, have the right to vote and elect the person of our choice. So the democracy's first clause is that the people of that particular country, they elect their representatives, and the period is a fixed time. That means in India it is 5 years. After every 5 year, elections are held, and if the government head is working nicely, if the government is working nicely, people re-elect him. Okay, so and supposing he's not, then people replace him by other better government. Then the next is these representatives make laws and govern the people. So the people make the laws and they govern the representatives. They make the laws and govern the people in a systematic and proper manner. That is why democracy is called a government by the people, of the people, and for the people. Now, since it is working all in all for the benefits of the people, that is why democracy is called, please underline this, government by the people, of the people, and for the people. You have to learn these three words, by, of, and for. The people, the people, the people. By the people, of the people, and for the people. Now, the word democracy is derived from the Greek word demos, which means people. Now, you all are supposed to know this. Please underline democracy, underline Greek word. Okay. And what are those Greek words? Demos, which means people, and kratos, kresi, means rule. Thus, democracy is the rule of the people. Clear? Where the people are all in all powerful. And it is not, when we say people are powerful, it is not that you and me are going and governing. No, we go, we vote, and we elect our representative of our choice. The person who gets the maximum number of votes of the people goes and forms the government and works for the people. Clear? So that is what we say when we say representatives. Now, coming to the next, the roots of democracy in India go to very ancient times. That is 2600 years ago, Buddha and Mahavira were born in republics. Now, you remember the chapter which we did as Janpadas and Mahajanpadas? Now, they either formed the monarchy form of government or they formed the republican form of government. We have not done this chapter, sorry. That is in our final term. So there was certain, they are telling us that India was a land where democracy was followed since very beginning. During the time of Buddha and Mahavira, there were certain kingdoms in India which were following republic form of government. That means they were following democratic ways. Where a group of people elected by the people were working and they were setting up laws. Okay, so in certain countries they were followed, and even in India, it is as ancient as 2600 years ago when Buddha and Mahavira were born. Now, next paragraph. Democratic government at present are called representative government democracies. Now, recently or in nowadays, we don't just call them democratic governments, we call them representative democracies. That means people do not participate directly. People are not just like you and me. We do not go in the government and go and sit in the Vidhan Sabha and do every work. No, people do not directly participate in the process of governance, but elect representatives through periodic elections. We cast our vote in the periodic elections. After every 5 year, after a period of 5 years, elections are held in India, and we elect our representatives of our choice. We take up the people whom we think that they will run the government properly and elect them. In our country,
Ma'am, the pictures have
elections.
gone.
Pardon, pardon, child. क्या हुआ?
Ma'am, the picture is not coming.
It's not coming. Wait a second.
Yes,
Let
ma'am.
me. Now is it okay? Is it visible?
No, ma'am.
Okay, wait. Let me go back. Let me come back.
Ma'am, it was visible.
Maybe in her phone there are some issues. No problem since she raised the question. So let me just work out. Child, is it visible now?
No, ma'am.
Then you open your book and read it from there. The rest can see this image. Okay, child. Maybe there are some issues in your network. That is why you're not able
Okay,
to
ma'am.
see.
Thank you.
It's okay. Okay. In our country, elections to the parliament and state assemblies are held every 5 years. Now, please see the two terms, parliament and state assemblies. That means in our country, at the national level, that means a government which will run the whole country, one elections are held, and then the government which will run that particular state, the other elections are held. So twice the elections are held, one for the national level. That means all over the India, which is that government which will run and look after its people. Now, presently, which government is looking after the people at the center? It is the BJP under the leadership of Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He is looking after the entire nation. Now, different states also have their elections for the state assemblies, that is Vidhan Sabha. So, like in our state, that is Uttar Pradesh, who do you think is the which government is running the uh, state government in Uttar Pradesh? It is again the BJP. Clear? BJP stands for Bharatiya Janata Party. And who's the head here? Who's the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh? It is Yogi
Yogi
Adityanath.
Adityanath.
Very good. Yogi
Yogi
Adityanath.
Adityanath.
Very. So he, that means at the parliament and the state assemblies, the elections are held every 5 years. Underline the word 5 years. Now, each and every citizen of India who has attained the age of 18 years and above has the right to vote in elections. Now they are saying that everybody who is 18 years of age and above, like you all are small, you don't have the right to vote. But your parents, you must have seen them going to cast their vote and getting back with a finger, with a mark on a finger, on the pointing finger. You must have seen your parents, isn't it?
Yes,
Eh,
ma'am.
Yes. So that is why it is called universal adult franchise. Now, let me break the term and tell you universal means which is applicable for all. Now, when you all watch movies, there's a column where U is written, that means universal, that it can be seen by all. At certain movies, it is written A, that means only adult can watch. You must have seen that column. Have you? So in the same way, universal means which is applicable for everybody. Now, adult means all the people who are 18 plus of age. Franchise means a right to vote. So let me put this together. Universal, adult, franchise. Now, universal, all, adult, 18 plus, franchise, right to vote. So all the adults, that means all the people who are 18 plus of age, have the right to vote. Is this much clear to each one? We stop here, and
Yes, ma'am.
this is
Yes.
your explanation 4. I hope I'm clear. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Very
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
very good. Okay. So now let me tell you one more thing in this connection, and that is that see that each one of you, while you are doing your work in this civics chapter, you first write the index, you go through the glossary, do everything that is given. Please write down the glossary. Please write down those charts which are given. No need for a map work, but definitely you'll go for the chart that is given to you. Clear? Any other question? Then gradually what we'll do is we will finish off the working, and I'll be sending you the question answers link, and you can do that. Clear to each one? Clear to each one?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Clear.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other doubts you have in mind? Any other doubt?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am. No,
Then
ma'am.
you are free to ask me. Have you gone through explanation 1, 2, and 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you all seen? Did you understand the chapter?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
supposing you come across any problem, you are still free to leave a query. Okay? You are still free to leave a query and work accordingly. Clear?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I end this class now.
Yes.